Hi friends, today we are discussing on new course titled Conflict Management Through Mediation. It's a 8-week course, and in this session we are discussing every week what we are discussing for the during the 8 weeks. So let us discuss one by one. In first week we are introducing the concept that is alternative dispute resolution. In short form we call it as ADR. ADR offers to resolve all types of matters including civil, commercial, industrial and family matters where people are not being able to start any type of negotiation and reach the settlement. Generally, ADR uses neutral third party who helps the parties to communicate, discuss the differences, and resolve the disputes. As per the National Judicial Data Grid, as of May 16th, 2023, a total of 4 crores 35 lakh 81,915 pending cases are there, and out of them there are 1 crore 8 lakh 91,504 civil cases, among which there are 72 lakh 35,614, around 66.43% of civil cases, which is more than 1 year old. Also, in first week we are discussing judicial emphasizes emphasis on the mediation. Specifically, our Chief Justice of India, Honorable Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, has time and again emphasized in the importance of mediation and how is it the need of the hour in the current times. Then we are discussing the conflict and disputes, concept of conflict and disputes, and how can we work towards conflict management by mediation. Then we are discussing nature of disputes. We will be dealing with the types of disputes, civil, criminal, and which disputes are meant for mediation. Then we are discussing hierarchy of courts. In India, we have the hierarchy of courts with the Supreme Court at the top, followed by High Court and then district courts. Docket explosion. Owing to huge backlog of cases, as discussed, it has led to delay in administration of justice. Development of mediation in India, how mediation came into picture and its recognition. Second week, we are discussing comparison of judicial process and various ADR processes. Here we are comparing or comparative analysis of a judicial process with mediation, then comparative analysis of each ADR methods with mediation with illustrations. There are various methods of ADR, that is arbitration, mediation, conciliation, negotiation, lok adalats, which are discussed in section in the CPC. Separate differentiation of each with mediation and clear and better understanding. And next week, that is week 3, concept of mediation, in-depth analysis of basic principles and features of mediation, the principles which govern mediation like confidentiality, voluntariness, etc. Then advantages of mediation, useful as it is time effective and cost effective and does not harm the relationship of parties. Then stages of mediations, from welcome, introduction, opening statement, joint and private sessions, conclusions and settlement. So all these stages we are discussing. In week 4, types of mediation. In this we are specifically discussing 3 types of mediation: pre-litigation mediation, post-litigation mediation and private mediation. how does it happens, and at what stage does it happen. Then personality of mediator, the main uh, characteristics that a mediator should possess in order to ensure that the parties open up to him and he can help the parties to arrive at a mutually agreed agreement. Then challenges in mediation: what if the parties not willing to meet face to face, or if there are excessive distractions, or parties lose faith in the mediator, or there is an impasse. These situations and much more will be discussed in this week. Week 5: communications in mediation. Concept of communication, how is communication done in mediation, and the importance of effective communication, how communication can be game changer and let parties express their perspectives without any hesitation. Then we are discussing types of communication, verbal and non-verbal, these two type of communications, and how effective is it, how is communication done in mediation in order to have an and effective mediation bearing fruits. In continuation, in week 5, further we are discussing relevance of communication. How can mediator convert a conflict situation into win-win situation for both parties? Then role of mediators. Mediator is in control of mediation process but does not control decision making. He helps the parties arrive an amicable solution. And then we are discussing uh, do's and don'ts of mediator, conduct of mediator to facilitate an effective mediation agreement. Then week 6, we are discussing mediation under Consumer Protection Act 2019. In short form, we call it as a CPA. Background of inclusion of mediation under the Consumer Protection Act 2019. And also we are discussing why it was not there in the 1986 Act, and what is the purpose, what is the object of bringing mediation chapter under 2019 Act. In detail we are discussing on that point. Then chapter 5 of Consumer Protection Act, mediation, empowers the consumers to negotiate on their own for what they deserve. Voluntarily they can settle the matter, and it's a win-win position. Then reference to mediation by Consumer Commission: in what circumstances, in what stage Consumer Commissions can refer the dispute for mediation. Then enforcement of mediation: once the mediation settlement happens, then how to enforce that particular settlement, that is also discussed in week 6. Then week 7, mediation under other laws. So Commercial Courts Act 2015, Family Courts Act 1984, then Companies Act 2013, how mediation is referred under the act and also under the rules. How how mediation has been dealt to under the different statutes, and how mediation comes into play in different legislations. And also we are discussing very important thing, United Nations Convention on International Settlement Agreements resulting from mediation 2018. In short, we call it as a Singapore Convention on Mediation. The recent Singapore Convention, to which India is a signatory, its advantages, its key features, and how it has added a new leaf to the recognition of mediation in international dispute, especially for cross-border disputes. Then week 7, we are discussing mediation under other laws. Mediation Bill 2021, why the central government come out with the mediation bill. Is there any involvement of Supreme Court directions, All those things we are discussing here. The mediation bill, which has not yet been converted to an act, its introduction, its futures, the key developments, reference to parliamentary standing committee and their suggestions, and the way ahead. So all those things we are discussing, and it's a very important step to bring the mediation bill, and we will see that particular bill converted into act at the earliest. Then we are discussing online dispute resolution, the concept of online dispute resolution, development and advantages, its legal recognition in India, online mediation, then skill set for e-mediation, and the challenges faced in e-mediation, and the ODR policy by Niti Aayog. So Niti Aayog in detail discussed and released the report that is called ODR policy. So how they have recognized ODR is a very important tool in future. Then week 8, drafting and enforcement, which is the last week. So drafting of settlement agreement, how to draft mediation settlement, what factors have to be kept in mind while drafting the mediation settlement, essentials of mediation settlement, etc. we are discussing here. Then at the end, the enforcement of mediation outcome, if the mediation is successful, to arrive at an outcome, how to get the agreement enforced, how will it get the force of law. So all those things we are discussing and summarizing all whatever we have discussed in past weeks, that is we are discussing here. So these are the 8 week content we are discussing in detail in each week on those topics, and also we are discussing the connected case laws, and try to convince you how much this mediation is important in your day-to-day life. So conflict or disputes comes or arises in family, in where you are working, or among friends, wherever you are. So these types of disputes or conflict may arise. So in that situation, how you can handle it more effectively and settle the dispute amicably with a win-win situation, that is the outcome understanding of this mediation. And future of the mediation is very good, and one who having a skills of mediation, that person will be grow or develop more effectively wherever he is, whichever work he is doing or profession he is doing. This skill will help him to grow in that particular field. With this I conclude. Thank you for this introductory session. Thank you very much.